Good day. My name is Refense Monage. The concept that I have decided to teach is common fractions, specifically equivalent fractions, where learners have to get the equivalent fraction of another. For example, 1 over 2, which is half, is equivalent to 2 quarters. This concept can be found in the KEPS document IP Phase Grade 4 to 6 on page 71 and is taught in grade 4, term 2. In grade 3, the learners are used to having the fraction strip, and using the material and the concrete model that I am using, the learners are able to then see that not only can fractions be in a form of a strip, but can also be in different ways. Using that specific model, it can help the learners develop a concept of fractions. They can know that even if I am cutting a circular cake, a rectangular cake, or even a triangular cake, there are fractions also involved with those. Fractions can be a difficult concept for learners to understand, especially if they are still being taught in the old ways of folding a certain paper into different pieces, like folding a square in half to show the half, and then again in a quarter, and then and. This does not then help them visualize the different pieces and how they fit together, because all they see is a one paper with different folds and bends. This can be difficult because when the folding method is used, the learners cannot then comprehend that even though the denominator and the numerator of two sets of fractions are not the same, they can still be equal. Like 1 is the numerator over 2, which is the denominator, is equal to 2 over 4, which is 2 quarters, 2 being the numerator and 4 being the denominator. With the fraction rule, learners are able to then put the pieces together and see that no, if I have a whole which is pink, and I can put 2 halves which are 2 blue, which then helps them to comprehend that whether the 2 pieces are not the same color, they can still fit on top of each other. They can put the half and put 2 quarters, a half being a red and 2 quarters being green. They can put them on top of each other, knowing that okay, the half doesn't have to be the same as a certain fraction for it to be equal. Just like how our hands, we have a left hand and a right hand, but if we put them together, they're still going to be equal, even though one thumb is facing that way and the other thumb is facing the other way. The concrete teaching tool that I have decided to make is the fraction circle, where there is a one whole, there is a half, a third, a quarter, a fifth, a sixth, and an eighth. They're all different colors so that the children are able to see then that okay, if this color is orange, that means it's a sixth, which then can be that our circle that we once had was then cut into 6 equal parts, and these 6 equal parts can all fit in the one whole. So for instance, when teaching children the fractions, we can ask them that okay, can the learners please take a quarter and then find 2 pieces that can fit on this quarter to make them equal. And then the learners might maybe try the 2/6, and they'll see that no, it's bigger on that side, so it's not fitting, so it's not equal. They might try the 2 fifths, and I'll see then again that no, it's also not equal, because then it's still bigger. And eventually the learners will try 2/8, which will then fit perfectly on the quarter. This will tell them that 2/8, with the 2 being the numerator and 1/4 with the 1 being the numerator and the 4 being the denominator, and the 2 and the 8th being a denominator, even though they are not the same denominators and numerators, they can also be equal. They're still a quarter. Another example that we can make is that we can ask the learners to take a third and a half, a third and sixths, and see how many sixths can fit in a third to make it equivalent to each other. And then they'll try maybe 1/6, and they'll see that no, 1/6 is not enough. And then they'll try 2/6, and they'll see that no, 2/6 fit perfectly, meaning 2/6, which is 2 numerator, 6 denominator, fits onto 1/3, 1 numerator, 3 denominator. And this can go on for a while, and this will help the learners then know that no matter which fraction they are given, they can still figure out which other fraction fits in that fraction to make the 2 fractions equivalent. Once the children have the basics of the different fractions that can fit on top of each other, once they have the basics that no, these things can fit onto each other and we can be equal to each other, we can then start teaching them that no, we can find other different ways and methods in order for them to be able to find the equivalent fraction of a certain fraction. For example, they can say 1/2 times 2, which gives us 2/4. So if we take this 1/2 times 2/4, the product of the times 2 that we had, which is 2/4, it will then give them a half. And that's how we can then lead our children to a better future and know that yes, fractions are difficult, but there's nothing that can't be solved. And children won't then get frustrated as to why are you saying that 1/4 is equal to 2/8. How did you get it like that? Yes, I understand that you multiplied by 2, or you multiplied by 3, or you multiplied by 5. But how did you do it? How do you know it fits in there? Because they have never practically done it. And with the fraction strip, it can also be seen. However, with the fraction strip, using the ruler method, where the children have to put the ruler on the half or the papers on the half and look for which fraction is equal to the half, it can also be confusing because there's then the eighths are there, the thirds, and. But with the fraction wheel, they can just pick and choose the pieces that they want and fit them on the fraction that was given to them by the teacher. But then with all this said and the demonstration that I have given with the fraction wheels, and they are quite easy to make because they can be laminated and can be used for years and years to come. This allows the learners to have confidence in maths, to have confidence in themselves, to know that yes, I can do maths and I am able to do maths, and fractions don't have to be difficult. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope that more learners are able to use the fraction wheel